Judge Evelyn Harper adjusted her glasses and looked down at the defendant with visible contempt. The courtroom was silent. Everyone could feel the tension. Standing before the bench was Marcus Reed, a quiet black man in a simple gray suit. He had been accused of obstruction and interference in an ongoing investigation. The prosecution claimed the evidence was overwhelming. Judge Harper seemed eager to agree. "Mr. Reed," she said sharply, "I've seen people like you come through this courtroom for years." A few people in the gallery exchanged uneasy looks. Marcus remained calm. The judge continued, "You think you're smarter than the system." Marcus said nothing. That seemed to irritate her even more. The prosecutor stood. "Your Honor, the state requests the maximum sentence available." Judge Harper nodded immediately. "Based on what I've heard today, I see no reason not to grant that request." Gasps spread through the room. Marcus's attorney rose. "Your Honor, we still have evidence that has not been presented." The judge waved him off. "Denied." Another objection. "Denied." Another motion. "Denied." Everything was denied. The hearing felt less like justice and more like a formality. Finally, Judge Harper leaned forward. "Mr. Reed, do you have anything to say before sentencing?" The room became silent. Marcus slowly stood. "Yes, Your Honor." The judge smirked. "Make it brief." Marcus nodded, then reached for a black briefcase beside his chair. The bailiff tensed. The prosecutor frowned. The judge looked annoyed. "What now?" Marcus calmly opened the briefcase. Inside were several folders. Then a black leather credential wallet. He placed it carefully on the defense table. The room grew quiet. Very quiet. Marcus opened the wallet. The gold badge inside reflected under the courtroom lights. "FBI." The judge froze. The prosecutor stopped breathing for a moment. Marcus spoke calmly. "My name is Marcus Reed." He paused. "Special Agent Marcus Reed, Federal Bureau of Investigation." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The courtroom was completely silent. Judge Harper blinked repeatedly. "What is this?" Marcus removed several thick folders from the briefcase. Each carried federal markings. "Confidential. Active investigation. Authorized access only." The prosecutor looked pale. The judge slowly sat back in her chair. Marcus opened the first file. Bank records. Financial transactions. Property purchases. The second contained witness statements. The third contained surveillance reports. Every document pointed toward one person, Judge Evelyn Harper. The courtroom erupted with whispers. The judge's face lost all color. "This is absurd." Marcus remained calm. "For the last 14 months, I have been working undercover as part of a federal public corruption investigation." The room exploded. Reporters grabbed their phones. Attorneys stared in disbelief. The prosecutor looked terrified. Marcus opened another folder. Then another. Inside were recordings, emails, financial records, evidence linking several court officials to misconduct, including the judge herself. Judge Harper stood abruptly. "You can't do this." Marcus looked directly at her. "Actually, Your Honor, I can." Then he pressed a button on a recorder. The judge's voice echoed through the courtroom, discussing favorable rulings, discussing private meetings, discussing ways to influence cases. Gasps filled the room. The judge's hands began trembling. "Turn that off." Marcus didn't move. The recording continued. Every second made the situation worse. Then the courtroom doors opened. Federal agents entered, one after another. The room instantly fell silent. A senior FBI supervisor stepped forward. "Judge Evelyn Harper, you are hereby informed that you are the subject of a federal corruption investigation." The judge looked stunned. The prosecutor lowered his head. Marcus calmly closed the folders. Then he looked at the woman who had spent the entire hearing mocking him. "You believed I was standing here to be judged." The judge said nothing. Marcus nodded. "The truth is..." He paused. "You were the one being investigated all along." The courtroom fell silent. Only minutes earlier, Judge Harper had been preparing to send Marcus Reed to prison. Now she sat frozen as federal agents approached the bench. For the first time that day, the most powerful person in the courtroom had no control over what happened next.